Dave Ramsey's had enough, and I think you'll agree when you watch this next clip. Much of the online financial advice today is like trying to separate wheat from the chaff, and that's why it's all the more important to shut down bad ideas before they end up doing real damage. Maybe you'll resonate with Dave's frustration when you watch this confusing mix of buzzwords around arbitrage and interest rates, and that's why it's the perfect place for me to explore these ideas in more detail with you. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but subscribe to the channel and watch this clip before we delve into it.
So here's a video. It's a father-daughter, which you'll see. And I just thought, well, here's a father-daughter, and I don't want to harp on them.
Yes,
I want to harp on the situation.
I do.
I know you do. Okay, let's play the Instagram reel.
This is my daughter, Maddie. We're at a car dealership right now, and she's about to buy her first car. Tell me how you're buying your first car.
This morning, I went to the bank. I got my first car loan. I qualified for $15,000.
At what interest rate?
3.5%. With the money that I have saved up, I have $7,000 in cash. I'm going to invest that into an Airbnb property and get 14% interest back, so that way I can use that money to pay off my car loan. So basically, kind of getting a car for free.
Wait, Maddie, can you explain that one more time, a little more simply?
Yeah. So it cost me 3 cents to borrow $1 from the bank, and then I go and take that dollar, now my dollar, and I give it to someone for 14 cents. And then so 14 minus 3, 11, so I keep the difference in the middle.
Wait, what's that called?
Arbitrage.
Boom! You buy assets that then cash flow and pay for your stuff.
You know why it's easy to understand where Dave's frustration is coming from? It's because most financial advice on places like TikTok like this have 100 different holes you can poke that are not visible to a lot of people, and that leads them to amassing large followings while they shell out potentially dangerous money advice. For one, I think there's one glaring error in that entire story that even Dave Ramsey seems to have glossed over. It's that getting a loan from the bank from one thing and then spending that money on something else without the bank's knowledge or consent is literally illegal. You can't just dupe the financial system like this, which is part of what makes this entire clip so harmful potentially, considering it has already received nearly 2 million views on TikTok. That's because the bank uses the car she'd be getting as a collateral for that loan, which could be repossessed upon failure to pay in time. Then she said 3.5% interest rate. I just looked up what the current market is for car loans in the United States, assuming she was supposedly financing a used car for just $15,000. I've been able to find an interest rate that are even double the number she mentioned. Most states have an average car loan rate at over 6% at least, and then even in double digits for used vehicles, but there's more holes in this entire setup that we need to talk about because this clip really seems to have gotten under Dave Ramsey's skin.
Full disclosure, I had you on stage at 15 years old. Okay. So,
what a slimy.
So full disclosure. So full disclosure.
That is true. You would be selling your kids'
the difference
books
is the difference is the
stage.
advice that we were giving was not so bad, and we were not as slimy or condescending. I don't think. Oh my God, it's called arbitrage. Okay, which is Greek for I'm stupid. Oh my God. Oh.
Okay, but talk about that notion though, because
it's absurd. The set of assumptions you have to go through for all that crap to be true are absolutely ludicrous. No. Okay, number one, you have never met a millionaire. We studied 10,167 of them. 0 of them, precisely 0, said I borrowed money on my car and arbitraged it into being a millionaire. 0 real millionaires do that. 0. None. I borrowed money on my car and put $11,000 into an Airbnb when I was 15. With all of my business acumen on display. Because she didn't even know what the interest rate was. Go back and watch the clip again. And they had to edit it. What was it? 3.5. Well, tell him again, Matt. Tell him again, darling, what you did. Oh. She doesn't even know what she did. She really didn't. She was a little parrot. So, number one. But the whole concept of I'm going to borrow money on assets. Listen, you doober. Cars go down in value. Yes, you can call them an asset if you want, but they're not much of an asset. And if you leverage your car to get rich, you might never get there. This is
because mathematically that's true, but also the spirit behind it.
Well, mathematically, you are not measuring risk. and you're making a set of assumptions that a 13-year-old, 15-year-old can borrow money at 3.5%. They can't. You can't contract unless you're a legal adult, and borrowing money is a contract.
Exactly, and that's sad because these complicated ideas around financing and investing clearly go over her head, which is understandable since she's literally just a teenager. And has someone noticed how they're even using the term arbitrage completely incorrectly? Seems like a new favorite online buzzword for finance gurus. Arbitrage simply means buying something low from one marketplace to sell it for higher in another marketplace to profit from the difference. These opportunities arise from very rare and short-lasting inefficiencies from the market adjusting to new prices, which means you have to move fast to make profit. Arbitrage doesn't mean buying assets that pay for your liabilities. That's an idea that was popularized by Robert Kiyosaki in the 90s when redefining what an asset and liability even is, and nowhere does he use the word arbitrage to describe it. And most of all, did she say she was getting an interest on her Airbnb investment? What does that even mean? You get profits from an investment and interest when you lend money to someone. Considering she just spoke about putting $7,000 into a property that's not even enough to buy a property unless she's pooling that money with other people, even then she won't be getting such a large interest rate back at 14%. So there's really a whole lot wrong with it that just leaves you confused about where to even begin.
30 years ago when I came on the air, the secrets of the rich were out there then. Everybody's got a book, 7 Secrets to Getting Rich. Here's the problem. It's not a secret. There's not a magic sauce. There's not a magic sauce. McDonald's special sauce is basically Thousand Island. There is no special sauce, okay? There's not any. That's it. I mean, you got to live on less than you make. You have to invest steadily over a long period of time. And there is no like, I learned a new word and that made me wealthy. If maybe compound interest would be close, okay? But compound interest works over time, with time, and consistency. So maybe that's a new word for him, and he learns that word, and that's a good word. But the people that say they're looking for a shortcut.
I mean, that's what it is. That's what I'm saying.
And they're brilliant. They're brilliant. They know things because they're on TikTok. And they know, oh God, shoot me.
Dave put his finger on the problem there. It's people trying to game the entire system in hopes that they can get rich quick. Here's a rule of thumb. If something sounds too easy or too good to be true, it probably is. And with something like money and finance at such a young age, it's all the more important to get the fundamentals right. That's why that dad in that TikTok video would be so much better off telling her how dangerous playing with money like this can be before she chucked into complicated long-term agreements with banks or half-baked investment opportunities into something like an Airbnb. Becoming wealthy isn't about hitting gold at once, it's about slowly accumulating the means and acumen that compounds into a reliable asset base over time. Nobody that tells you you can speed things up, can process without introducing a massive amount of risk, is telling you the truth. But let me know in the comments what you think about this, because it's all more important for people to be able to tell bad advice from the good.